Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Network. Today I just want to sit down and talk a little about a Linux distro I've been messing around with for a while now, and honestly it kinda surprised me in a good way. I'm talking about PikaOS, specifically GNOME Edition. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I'm always on the lookout for distros that can strike a good balance between gaming performance, stability and everyday usability without making you jump through a million hoops just to get stuff working. And yeah, while most of the attention in the Linux gaming scene tends to go to distros like Nobara or Fedora based options, I decided to give PikaOS another shot, specifically the GNOME flavor. And spoiler alert, it actually been a really solid experience. So I figured it's time to share my thoughts with you. No benchmark, no synthetic numbers this time, just my honest day-to-day impressions from someone who games, works, edits and lives on Linux. So, before I dive into my experience, let's get the basics out of the way for those of you who may not be familiar with PikaOS. PikaOS is a Debian-based distro. It's one of those gaming-focused distros designed to make life easier for gamers and content creators on Linux. Now, there is a ton of this popping up lately, right? Everyone wants to claim they're the ultimate gaming distro, but PikaOS actually has a few things going for it that you don't find on too many so-called gaming distros. For one, it comes with a welcome screen on the first boot that lets you quickly install everything you need for gaming. Steam, Lutris, Heroic Launcher, Mango Hood, Game Mode, Wine Tools, and more. It's one of those small but super convenient features that make you think, why doesn't every distro do this? And unlike some other gaming distros, PikaOS doesn't feel bloated or janky. It actually feels like a polished, well thought out system that you could realistically daily drive, and that's exactly what I've been doing for the past few months. Alright, so installation. This part was smooth. The installer is pretty much what you'd expect from any other Linux distro. Calamares based, easy graphical installer, no surprises. Pick your partitions, choose your time zone, user account, done. Honestly, this is one of the reasons I recommend Debian or Ubuntu based distros for newer Linux users. The install process is that simple and just works. Once it booted up for the first time, that welcome screen popped up and immediately gave me the option to install all my favorite gaming tools. Steam, one click. Lutris, done. Heroic Game Launcher, yep. Mango Hood, already there. It even lets you install OBS Studio and a few other handy tools for content creators. That was already a good sign because usually with other distros you either have to install this manually via terminal or add third-party repositories. And while I personally don't mind doing that, it's nice to have everything in one place, especially if you just want to get your games up and running without fiddling around. Now, into the juicy part, gaming. Since PikaOS is tailored for gamers, I had high hopes for out-of-the-box performance, and I gotta say it didn't disappoint. I installed some of my usual go-to titles like Days Gone, The Finals, Fragpunk and few older favorites like Portal 2, and everything ran beautifully. No compatibility issues, no weird frame rate dips, nothing. Proton is well integrated, and because it's using the latest Mesa drivers and kernel updates via its built-in repositories, it performs on par with my experience on Fedora, Nobara or Arch, which have kinda became the poster distros for Linux gaming lately. Plus, tools like Mango Hood and Game Mode are pre-installed and ready to go. No need to manually set up launch options or add them via terminal. Just hit play and your games run with performance overlays and tweaks enabled by default. I even tested a couple of newer multiplayer titles to check for anti-cheat compatibility through Proton Experimental, and honestly it's the same situation as everywhere else on Linux. If it works on Proton, it will work here. Okay, so how about outside of gaming? This is usually where gaming distros fall apart. You get great game performance, but your system is unstable, updates break stuff, or the desktop environment feels slapped together. I was actually pleasantly surprised here too. PikaOS GNOME Edition has been incredibly stable for me. No weird GNOME shell crashes, no broken updates, no random freezes. It just works. And considering I'm doing a lot more than just gaming, meaning browsing, writing scripts, handling emails, doing a bit of photo editing in GIMP, and of course video editing, it held up really well. Updates are handled via Picman's software updater and it's surprisingly unintrusive. It lets you know where there's a kernel or driver update and you can either reboot immediately or later. No annoying forced reboots like on Windows. Even OBS worked great. Screen recording while playing a game, running Mango Hood overlays and recording my microphone, zero hiccups. That's not something I can say about every distro. Now, another big deal for me personally, DaVinci Resolve. If you've ever tried installing Resolve on Linux, you know what a hassle it can be. Missing dependencies, broken libraries, or just flat out refuses to launch. Fedora gave me headaches, OpenSUSE was a nightmare, and even on Ubuntu proper I had to fight it sometimes. But on PikaOS, it was shockingly easy. I downloaded the installer from Blackmagic site, followed this tutorial to install it, and it just worked. Install it without any missing libraries, no post-install patches needed, no codec problems. Even Fusion and Fairlight worked, which is often where things break. I've been editing many of my videos on it and it's been completely stable. No lag, no random crashes, that alone is enough for me to keep this distro on my system. A couple of other little things I wanted to mention because they add to the overall experience. First, GNOME on PikaOS is snappy. I like KDE too because I like tweaking every little thing, but GNOME here feels smooth, clean, and most importantly doesn't get in my way. Even with a few extensions like Dash to Dock and App Indicator support, it's rock solid. Second, Wayland by default works fine. No issues with my monitor setup, no problems with OBS recording or screen tearing in games. And if you're a content creator like me, you'll appreciate not having to swap to X11 just to get a screen recording without artifacts. And lastly, it handles hardware really well. My RX 7600 XT was detected out of the box, no extra drivers installs needed. Same with my audio interface and USB microphone setup. So with all that said, who is PikaOS GNOME Edition actually for? Well, if you're a gamer on Linux or someone curious about switching to Linux for gaming, this is one of the most painless distros you could start with. But it's also a great pick for content creators or just regular desktop users who want a stable, no-fuss Linux experience. It's beginner friendly without being restrictive and powerful without being complicated. If you're like me and you've had your fair share of distro hopping, Fedora, OpenSUSE, Arch, Nobara, Mint, you name it, and you just want something that works, this is a great option. I've daily driven it for a few months now and I haven't run into a single deal-breaking issue. Sure, I still love Fedora, Nobara or Arch, but PikaOS earned a spot on my short list. It nails that sweet spot between gaming ready, stable for work and easy to set up for creative tasks like video editing. Anyway, that's it for today's ramble. I just wanted to share my experience with PikaOS GNOME Edition because it doesn't get as much attention as it should and honestly it deserves a little spotlight. If you've tried PikaOS before or if you have a favorite gaming distro you think I should check out, drop it down in the comments. I love seeing what you guys are running and discovering new setups. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, consider subscribing for more Linux gaming and distro related content and I'll catch you in the next one.